Welcome in, guys. This is JE Live and Jake Ellenbogen, of course, hosting JE Live. And we are here to talk about the fact that, I mean, it is not 2019, folks. You didn't just wake up and lose 3 years and go backwards. Eric Weddle has joined the LA Rams in their hunt for the Super Bowl. As we know, Eric Weddle was famously with the Rams in 2019. He signed on. He ended up being their captain. He ended up, starting for them the first 8 games of that season. He led all safeties and tackles, and down the stretch, he just started to wear down a little bit. And, Taylor Rapp eventually became the starter in his place. Now, Taylor Rapp is hurt, so in steps Eric Weddle to add some depth to the safety room. You still have Terrell Burgess. You still have Nick Scott. But that's pretty much it. Jake Gervais is on the practice squad. The Rams lost Juju Hughes to the Lions when they tried to revert him back to the practice squad. The Lions claimed him. And furthermore, when they let go of J.R. Reed earlier in the year, trying to get him back on the practice squad, the Giants signed him. So they were kind of left in a weird position late in the season. You can't go out and get those guys. You can't go and take a practice squad guy and add him to your roster because it doesn't work that way. You're now in the playoffs. So all you can do, all you have at your disposal is what's on your team currently and what is in free agency. And so the Rams had that opportunity. They were able to go out and get Weddle. Could have gone out and gotten Trey Boston, who is a free agent right now. They could have gone out and gotten Earl Thomas, but I think really what it came down to was Jalen Ramsey loves Eric Weddle. They have a very good connection there. And furthermore, to add on to it, you're talking about the fact they have the familiarity with him. I mean, he's been with this some of this coaching staff anyway. Obviously, Coach Evero knows him. It's a different defensive coordinator for sure. That is something to keep in mind. So, that's that. But I mean, that's how I look at it. Is that Evero is still there? McVay is there. Jalen Ramsey likes him a lot. He mentored He mentored Terrell Burgess, who went to his alma mater, Utah. So it makes sense, I guess, all right. Hope everyone's doing well. We're here on a Wednesday. It is Wednesday. I woke up and it's actually Wednesday. It's not Tuesday. I was so out of sorts yesterday. Thought it was Wednesday. Ended up, today is Wednesday. Man, it's going to take a while for this to happen. It's a desperation move to a degree, but I also think it makes a lot of sense. It sounds like they've been talking about doing this for a little bit now to add some depth. They weren't expecting to lose Juju Hughes. He had been on the roster the whole year. They weren't expecting to lose J.R. Reed. I'm sure they thought they could bring him back on the practice squad. But, the fact of the matter is they weren't able to. And that's where we stand right now. The Rams weren't able to bring those guys back. So now they're going to alternative measures. And this is, I think, the right move. Now, with that said, what does that mean for the Rams? Could this be, trouble? I'll say this. Arizona, we're not doing our preview yet, so don't think I'm going, true deep dive into the game. We're talking about Eric Weddle and, other things along that avenue. But, Arizona, you'd be surprised. Their yards per completion is, for pass completion, is near the bottom. And I just wrote an article for the game day about the Rams and Cardinals doing same game parlays. I did that over on what was it, Bet Rivers? Yeah, Bet Rivers. So I'm writing about the same game parlays, and I noticed something. Arizona over the last 3 games is at the bottom of yards per completion, pass completion. So, they're near the bottom. We're talking about teams like the Jets, the Giants, the Steelers, and that's the thing. So, the Cardinals aren't getting a ton of depth on their throws. They're not getting a ton of yards per completion. The offense hasn't been as explosive as it has been in the past. And so because of that, despite the fact that they're down to, getting Eric Weddle out of retirement to help their safety situation, I mean, I don't think it's really going to be all that bad. I do have the Rams winning this game 31-24 for those of you who are wondering. Again, not the preview. I'm going to do that in more of an in-depth thing later on in the week. But, I look at this and I think it makes a lot of sense, the signing. It's one of those things I woke up and I was like, oh, okay. But, I mean, it does make sense. He's got familiarity with the safeties coach. He's got familiarity with the best DB in the league. He mentored Terrell Burgess, who he might end up starting alongside, depending on how things go. He has familiarity with Sean McVay. So I think it makes a lot of sense in that regard. But I'll say this, okay? If you're expecting Eric Weddle to go out there and ball out and look like an all-pro, that's just not going to happen, okay? It's just not. It's just not going to happen. It's not in the cards. He's not going to go out and look like an all-pro. I saw some question marks, and then I saw my viewers go down like crazy. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. They keep kicking out people. I don't get it. I don't know if it's because of the ads or what. I get rid of the ads. I turn off monetization, and it still keeps doing it. So I don't know what to do at this point. Just hopefully you guys are rejoining. But I have no idea what's going on with that. That's what I'll say in that regard. As far as this game goes, though, Eric Weddle probably is not going to start. I would imagine it's going to be Burgess and Scott. But if Eric Weddle does have to start, then I think, he'll be okay. I don't think he's going to be the greatest. He doesn't know this defense as well. Keep this in mind. His last defense he played with was Wade Phillips. This is 2 coordinators later. He didn't play with Brandon Staley, and he didn't play with, Raheem Morris. So that's something to keep in mind. I will say I find it kind of funny. I don't know what it is with YouTube kicking you out, by the way, Brandon. I don't know what it is. I mean, I took off monetization, and it puts it back on. We get a bunch of viewers, and then all of a sudden it kicks them out. I don't know, what's happening, to be honest with you. I've tried to get that figured out. I have no idea. So, I mean, I'll turn off monetization again. It looks like it turned it back on. We'll do non-skippable video ads. We'll turn that off and see if that helps. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, hopefully that gets fixed. That's becoming a big issue lately, and it's pissing me off. But yeah, I mean, when you look at this, they needed to make this move. I mean, we didn't know they needed to make this move, but there's a good chance that Taylor Rapp is out with a concussion. And we already know that Jordan Fuller's season is over. We talked about that yesterday. There's a chance that Darius Williams doesn't play. So the Rams secondary is going to be battle-tested. They already have been, by the way, without Jalen Ramsey. Let's not forget when the Rams played the Cardinals on Monday Night Football earlier in the year. Not that much earlier, but we're talking a few weeks ago. On Monday Night Football in Arizona, they won that game despite the fact that they didn't have Jordan Fuller, I don't believe. They might have. I might have to check on that. They didn't have Jalen Ramsey, and they didn't have Tyler Higbee. And I don't believe they had Rob Havenstein either. So, they've done it before. Exactly, Nolan. They have done it before. I think this is, when we were talking about, heart, and how the Rams have had to step up in the worst of circumstances, this is what we mean. This is what we're talking about. When I'm talking about conditioning for the playoffs, this is what I'm talking about. Because it all hangs in the balance on Monday night at 8:15 at SoFi Stadium against the Arizona Cardinals. You have to beat them twice this year. You lost once earlier in the year at SoFi. You have to get revenge. I know you got revenge in Arizona. It doesn't work that way. You have to get revenge again at SoFi in the playoffs. There's no excuse. They got to win this football game, okay? They're not going to add the excuses. It's not going to happen, right? They're just not. They're not going to, agree with the excuses. They're not going to make any. It's not going to happen. Sean McVay is not going to do that. But this team has stepped up. And this is where those moments in the season, they help you out later on. When you're able to win games starting cornerbacks that haven't been on the active roster the whole year, against a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. Like, oh, hey, Kareem Moore, we like you a lot. Your first job, you have to stop DeAndre Hopkins. If you can win games like that, then you can win games like this. I would argue, as much as the Jordan Fuller injury hurts, they can get past this way easier than losing an interior offensive lineman, losing Andrew Whitworth. I think that they're in a better place than people give them credit for. Now, losing Darius Williams, that sucks. Let's not forget the Rams were winning without Darius Williams. Does it help having him back? Of course. Absolutely. I love Darius Williams. I love watching him play, and I feel like he is due for some interceptions that could come in this postseason. But if he can't go because of his shoulder, then hear me out when I say it's okay. The Rams are a Super Bowl contender for a reason. They have depth galore. They have so much depth that to this point, they have teams plucking it right off the practice squad. They had so much depth at safety, they couldn't even fit everyone on the roster. That's why they lost J.R. Reed, and that's why they lost Juju Hughes. That's a real thing. They have so much depth, they were continuing to win despite losing Jalen Ramsey, despite losing Andrew Whitworth, despite losing Darrell Henderson, despite losing Tyler Higbee. Doesn't matter. They continue to win through those games. They went on a 5-game winning streak during that COVID rampage. I mean, that's crazy. During that whole COVID thing, they were pretty much undefeated when COVID was running rampant through their locker room. The game against the San Francisco 49ers, they lost by 3. That was like the first game in however many weeks that they didn't have any sort of COVID indications. So, yeah, I mean, you got to give them credit, okay? You got to realize, look, this team, they've already shown Monday Night Football. They stepped up against Arizona with Kareem Moore at cornerback, without Jalen Ramsey, without Tyler Higbee. We've seen how important Tyler Higbee's been. I think he's going to have a significant role moving forward in the playoffs. I think he's the second option after Cooper Kupp. I think, more than ever, Matthew Stafford trusts him. And, I mean, really, it's never been about, it's never been about Tyler Higbee's ability. We saw what he did against the Eagles last year. Had 3 touchdowns, okay? It's never been about Tyler Higbee's ability. It's the fact that Tyler Higbee plays on an offense that typically has Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Robert Woods. Now you add Odell. All of a sudden, all these weapons, he's not the top guy. But he has continued to ascend his play, and he's needed. So the Rams are going to figure things out, folks. I'm not worried. I understand there is some concern with the safeties, the corners. I get it. I totally understand. I'm not worried because they've already gone through these trials, and they've succeeded. And what doesn't kill you does indeed make you stronger, as corny as that may sound. The Rams did not die against Arizona. And because of that game, because they stepped up, because they showed heart, guess what? Because they showed heart, they are hosting the playoff game. This would be in Arizona if they lost that game. That's the thing. And actually, who knows if it even would? We don't know. We don't know if this would even be against Arizona. In all likelihood, it might not have been. Things could have changed. If the Rams lost to the Cardinals they might have never faltered. They might have not lost those games down the stretch. They lost momentum when they lost to the Rams. Go back and watch the Cardinals before the Rams game. They lost their momentum when they lost to the Rams. The Rams gained their momentum once they beat Arizona. I feel like we talked about it. I think they added some momentum to the table when they beat Jacksonville. That was the get-right game. But then they really followed it up, and they really proved themselves when they handled Arizona. And to be honest with you, they should have won that game by more than 7. That's Arizona's ability to hang around. And that's also the Rams stepping up to the plate, showing heart, but not having a Tyler Higbee, not having a Jalen Ramsey, and all you're trying to do is win the football game. It does not matter how much you win by, unless you're betting on it, which, to be honest with you, I'll take a Rams win over my bet winning. I think anybody would. But so right now, the way we have it, Brandon, you're asking me if I would rather play Coleman Shelton or Brian Allen. 100% Coleman Shelton all day, every day. I can't believe I'm saying it, but the Pro Bowl alternate Brian Allen has started to struggle since he came back from his injury. And all I saw when Coleman Shelton was in there is consistent wins. That's the thing. Okay, he is better in pass pro than Brian Allen. Brian Allen is better in the run game. When the run game isn't working and Brian Allen is getting blown up in the middle, you have to go to the guy that can at least pass protect a little bit better. And honestly, I'd say he pass protects a lot better. That is Coleman Shelton. He's built to withstand that. So that is who should be at center, in my personal opinion, because I'd be focusing more than anything on making sure Matthew Stafford is upright. It's that simple. If Stafford's upright and he's able to step into those throws, they eviscerate the 49ers. The only reason they lost that game, you can throw away the bad play calling at the end. You could throw away the defense giving up all that. The game isn't even close if at 17-0, they actually give Matthew Stafford protection. That's my disconnect with people that say Stafford lost the game. Stafford was doing all of that without much protection at all. He was creating. Look at how many times he's wrapped up or, somebody's, gnawing at his ankle and he escapes and makes a play early in that game. That's the thing. So if they can protect Matthew Stafford, if they give him a pocket, he can already make plays without a pocket. So if they give him one, like they've been doing this season, if they go back to that, if we find out that the Niners game was more of just the fact they played the Niners, then Arizona's going to be in trouble. Hate to break it to you. They're going to be in trouble. If that Rams team that we saw in the first half comes to light against Arizona, Arizona's in trouble. And Arizona is going to have to use guys that they haven't used all season long the way they should have. Rondale Moore could rip apart this Rams secondary if they use him over the top. Rondale Moore, if you didn't know, leads the league in yards, in cushion yards. We're talking guys, allowing cushion in between him and, the defender. In cushion yards, in yards of separation. The problem with Rondale Moore is he's last in the league in intended air yards. So he is not being thrown deep down the field. He's taking bubble screens and things like that. So that's a player that I'm watching in this one against a secondary that has a lot to prove, especially if Darius Williams doesn't play. Now, that doesn't mean they can't step up. That doesn't mean they can't win, because I do have them winning, but that's a player I'm watching. I'm also watching Christian Kirk. They have some explosive players. Look at their running backs. James Conner, and now they have, Chase Edmonds both in the backfield. Last time they played the Rams, they didn't have James Conner. I'm sure Conner has a chip on his shoulder from that game because he wasn't able to play, and he knows what he did the last time he went to SoFi Stadium. They ran over 200 total yards. They won 37-20. They know what they did. They have to get back to that. I said over and over again, Arizona's not a team I'm laughing at going into the playoffs. This is a team that I think is a team you don't want to sleep on. I just think they're running into what could be a buzzsaw with the Rams, and that's why I have 31-24 Rams. I agree. Brian Allen is the weak link. He's done well at times, but I haven't seen the same thing since his injury, I think that knee injury hurt him a little bit. He's a little bit behind, something along those lines, Yeah. No, I agree. Welcome in, everybody. Those of you who are new, welcome. Be sure to subscribe. We are fast approaching. It actually looks like the ticker is behind, or maybe I'm behind. I don't know. But we're fast approaching 10,000 subscribers. We're actually 25 subscribers away from hitting the 10,000 mark. So if you guys could, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to also hit the like which is also the thumbs up button. We're at 52. We're at over 130 viewers. So let's see if we can get those up past 100. That's always my goal. Anything else is great. Cake, whatever. But, I will say that, again, going back to Weddle, I'm glad he did this. I'm glad he went to the Rams. Glad he's doing this. I feel like genuinely Eric Weddle could be a coach at this point. Very intelligent guy. Was a captain the last time he was with the Rams. But you get that kind of resounding respect coming out of Jalen Ramsey. It makes you feel really good about this move. And he doesn't have to be a barn burner. He doesn't have to light the world on fire. He just needs to just be a guy. And if they ask him to start, just don't be the worst safety we've ever seen. Bradley St. James, thank you so much for joining and becoming a member. Welcome. That's about as simple as I can make that. Eric Weddle doesn't have a ton of expectations and shouldn't, because he's coming off 3 years after retirement. He's 37. But if he adds any sort of value, this is a good move for the Rams. I still think it's a good move for the Rams. They need depth. Jake Gervais is the other safety, and I don't even think they want him playing safety. They tried to convert him to linebacker. Now, if you want some, what do you want to call it? I guess creative options that maybe you're not hearing from, you're not hearing about enough. I'll name you a few, okay? First one, I'll say, I'll give you an option here. Once Ernest Jones comes back next round, and if, Taylor Rapp was unable to play, what about Travin Howard? Travin Howard is a former safety converted to linebacker out of TCU. He's got all the ball skills in the world. You obviously see he can defend the pass. He's great in coverage. He's got the speed. Travin Howard, worst comes to worst, could. Jalen Ramsey, when the Rams are healthy at corner, Jalen Ramsey can be your safety. He can. So when they're healthy at corner, Jalen Ramsey can be your safety. Problem is, Rochelle probably won't be back for this game. But when they're healthy, they might move Ramsey to corner. Who knows? Or Ramsey to safety. Who knows? Earl Thomas is who I thought they might go after. I still wouldn't rule out Earl Thomas if they have to do that. Keep this in mind. They still, and this is important, with Eric Weddle, they still don't have as much depth as you would like. That's only 3 guys on the active roster, 1 guy in the practice squad. That's 4 safeties, one of which has started. I don't think Terrell Burgess has ever started in the NFL. I mean, Weddle hasn't played in 3 years. And then you have Jake Gervais, who's played, but very sparingly, and they were moving to linebacker from the looks of it. Wait, what was that? Someone else was signed? The Rams. Oh, Blake Countess. How about that? Okay. All right, cool. Thank you for bringing that up. I missed that because I've been live. So right after I went live, actually, Blake Countess, former Ram, is returning to the Rams on the practice squad. And Sherrod Niesman, as you mentioned, who just mentioned that? I want to give him credit. Oh, Dr. Dingus. Thank you for pointing that out. Sherrod Niesman is familiar with Morris from the Falcons, and it could be someone to watch. Okay. What is confusing to me is that Demarius Randall? Demarius Randall was just on the Rams as like a hardship pickup, and they got rid of him, and he never really got a chance. All right, so Blake Countess, former Ram. So the Rams are bringing in 2 former Rams. Blake Countess was originally with the Rams. 1 second. They got Weddle in 2019, and then they had Blake Countess, who played pretty well with the Rams at one point or another back in 2018. So he is a Wade Phillips guy. But I'm going to check out how long Evero has been there. And I'm pretty sure Coach Evero has been with the Rams since Sean McVay took over. He has. So this makes a lot of sense. So Ejiro Evero from 2017 to now, or from 2017 to 2020, he was a secondary / pass game coordinator. Well, he was a safeties coach. Now he's a secondary / pass game coordinator. So he's coached these guys. That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. So he's coached Blake Countess. He's coached Eric Weddle. You know, this goes back to what I was saying with Evero. Evero has experience with this team. So that's the thing there. Blake Countess is back with the Rams. Eric Weddle's back with the Rams. Sherrod Niesman joins the Rams. Now, this is the practice squad, but I'm imagining that these guys are going to get elevated in time for the game because they're going to need depth. Niesman did play, I believe, for the Jets last in 2021. He was released on January 8th, so he's a newer release here. This season he had 14 tackles, he had an interception, and that was that. So he did play for the Jets this year. He had an interception against Buffalo on November 14th. His last game was December 19th against the Dolphins. He had 4 tackles. So Niesman, you know, he's a 6 foot tall, 6 foot, 213 pound safety. Looks to me like, you know, this isn't somebody that's gonna, you know, blow the doors off or anything like that. You know, but he does have an interception that he had this year, and actually it was his first interception of his career. He's only started 3 games in his career. He's played 68, and I do believe they're eligible because they're added to the practice squad. So these guys, so these guys are all eligible for the playoffs. If they were waiver claims, I believe they would have to go on the futures deal. But because these guys were already, they were free agents, that's how it goes. Jake Gervais is still, you know, he was switched to an inside linebacker. He was signed in the active roster, if that gives you any inclination of maybe how they could use him. But so right now, if you're keeping score at home, Ram safeties, potential safeties, we'll talk about it. But the safeties on the roster, you have, including practice squad, Terrell Burgess, Nick Scott, Eric Weddle, Jake Gervais, linebacker, safety, you get my point. Sherrod Niesman, Blake Countess. So they have some guys. The problem is these are bodies until proven otherwise. They needed depth. At corner, you're looking at, and I'll bring it up now because I'm curious to check it out. I know. At corner, you're looking at Jalen Ramsey, Grant Haley. 1 second. Jalen Ramsey, Dante Dion, David Long, Darius Williams, Grant Haley, Kareem Orr, and that's it. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners on the roster right now. And then at safety, they haven't put Rapp on any list yet. They haven't even put, I do believe they put Fuller on the list. Yeah, Fuller is on the injury list now. And they actually, it looks like they signed Eric Weddle to the practice squad. So on their official website, the practice squad shows that Eric Weddle has been added to the practice squad with Blake Countess and Sherrod Niesman. Javian Hawkins is also there, the running back. J.J. Koski's there, the wide receiver. Cornerback Tyler Hall, who has experience with Raheem Morris, is also there. Kyle Markway, the tight end. Outside linebacker Justin Lawler. Linebacker Christian Roseboom. Linebacker Anthony Hines, the third. Offensive lineman Jeremiah Colon. Offensive lineman Max Percher. Offensive lineman Chandler Brewer. Wide receiver Warren Jackson. Ernest Brown, the fourth defensive lineman. and Jonah Williams, defensive lineman. That is your practice squad as it stands right now. Also, something to point out, Antoine Brooks has a safety background. He was initially a safety, turned linebacker, so he is also on the roster, listed as a linebacker, but initially came in the league as a defensive back. That's another option. The Rams have a lot of options. It's a matter of them playing playing up to par. Just having bodies, may look good on paper to have a lot of guys, but it's all quality over quantity. So we will see. But it's very important to keep in mind that also the first guy that I missed is Antoine Brooks Jr., who's been on the roster seemingly the whole season. And he was originally a defensive back with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was transferred to linebacker, and, that's that. But there are a lot of guys in that secondary. Just guys are going to have to step up, and this is crucial. This is huge opportunity for those guys. I mean, they're young. Look at the experience here. Dante Dion, 4 years. David Long, 3 years. Darius Williams, 4 years. 3 years for Grant Haley. 2 years for Kareem Orr. 6 for Jalen Ramsey. Then we just talked about the linebacker, who I'm trying to find now. Antoine Brooks, 2 years. Okay? They just, it looks like Jake Gervais was changed to a safety on the roster, so he is listed as a safety, 2 years. Taylor Rapp, 3 years. Nick Scott, 3 years. Terrell Burgess, 2 years. So it does make sense to bring in, Eric Weddle, however many year pro he is. It says rookie on the website, so that's wrong. Sherrod Niesman, 6 years. And Blake Countess been in the league for 5. So makes sense. Definitely does. But yeah, I'm glad they attacked this. They realized, okay, Rapp isn't going to be available. This is telling us, guys, Rapp is in concussion protocol, but he's not playing. Because if he was playing, they wouldn't have signed 4 safeties, to the practice squad active roster combined. They wouldn't have signed 4 safeties to replace Taylor Rapp and Jordan Fuller, or just Jordan Fuller. They signed that to replace Taylor Rapp and Jordan Fuller. The next week after that, it's going to be different. But it's something to keep in mind. You have some of these guys that can play that are, without a contract right now, that are free agents. They're looking at what the Rams are doing, and they're like, yeah, I might want some of that. I might want a Super Bowl ring. You call it ring chasing, but I call it, finding your role, and, it's not free money. You're not just going to the Rams to get free money and not work. You're going to have to work your tail off. They need you. But it's a golden opportunity for some of those guys, and, we'll see how that goes. What's up, Preston? How's it going? Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Check this off your bingo card to have Eric Weddle return to the Rams in 2022. The 2022 bingo card is quite the crazy place. I mean, yeah, I won't, there was talk about AB, on the timeline. I think a lot of people on Twitter, including myself, were starting to wonder if, Jalen Ramsey last night at like midnight who just started laughing, on Twitter. There was some talk. It's like, okay, like, is he trying to get Antonio Brown and all of that? There's already been some connections. Brown said something, or, he listened to some song, and then like Jalen Ramsey on that same Instagram platform posted a story of him listening to the song. So like, yeah, like there are people that thought it would be Antonio Brown. I'm glad it's not. I don't want him anywhere near the Rams. I'll say this as simple as I can make this. If he went to the Rams, I wouldn't root against him. I wouldn't cheer, I wouldn't want him to fail. But I don't want him on the Rams. If he goes to the Rams, fine, I'll live with it. But I'd rather them keep that negative energy far away from that locker room. I like where they're at right now. I know they're coming off a tough loss, but I'm really not worried about that loss affecting them, and causing them to lose another game. I'm just not. So I think the Rams are going to come out and play tough against Arizona. Once again, they're going to need a lot of heart in this one. This is pretty crazy. We're talking Blake Countess, Rod Neesman, Eric Weddle. They're all hands on deck type of game, and you gotta love it because when you win those games, those are huge. But I think Eric Weddle will be on the active roster. He's on the practice squad for now to make the numbers work, I would assume, but Kingsbury did confirm today J.J. Watt is going to try to practice and see whether he can play Monday night, but DeAndre Hopkins is out. He is not going to be ready to return from his knee surgery he had. So DeAndre Hopkins is a significant loss, and he is out. He played against the Rams the last time. I believe he had some success. I'll have to go back and look at that box score. But, yeah, that's significant. That's big. DeAndre Hopkins being out is big, especially with the potential of the Rams not having Darius Williams. Regardless of how you feel about the secondary and whatnot, that's a significant loss. Last time, A.J. was the leading receiver for the Cardinals. He had 102 yards. But think about this. It's not necessarily about the stats, right? It's not the fact that the Rams held DeAndre Hopkins to only 5 catches for 54 yards. It's not about that. Because once you take Hopkins off the field, now you don't have to game plan around stopping Hopkins, opening up the opportunity for guys like A.J. Green to sneak by you and have 102 yards and 7 catches on the day. And now all of a sudden, those type of games out of A.J. Green are less likely. And it makes it really difficult for everyone else around. Rondale Moore had 3 catches for 5 yards against the Rams in that game. He had 4 targets. They're not using Rondale Moore vertically down the field. Hopefully they don't against the Rams. And then you look at James Conner. James Conner had 9 catches for 94 yards. The Rams are fine with that. They'll allow you to dink and dunk to the running back. They don't want you hitting the big play over the top, which, of course, they allowed a 47-yarder to Kirk. They allowed a 36-yarder to A.J. Green in that game. They can't allow those in this game. It's that simple. But, there's a chance that they will. Zach Ertz started off the game strong. He had some catches early on, had some first down, chain moving event, and then he was kind of phased out of the game. So, he had 5 catches for 42 yards in that one. So, this is one of those things where I think it's very significant to not have DeAndre Hopkins in this game. The Cardinals offense hasn't looked the same since Kyler Murray got hurt, but it really hasn't looked the same since DeAndre Hopkins has gotten hurt. So that's something worth noting there. With the Rams, looking back on this, they did have Jordan Fuller, by the way. I do want to add, they had Fuller. They did not have Ramsey. They had Kareem Orr. Terrell Burgess played a little bit in this one. So, guys definitely had to step up. And, I thought David Long Jr. played incredibly well in this game. He had himself a really good game and started to really show you kind of the things that the Rams saw and why they made him their 3rd-round pick in 2019. So the question remains, though, how big of a role would David Long have? That's all up to what happens with Darius Williams, and we don't know. What we can assume is that Taylor Rapp is not going to play. That's all we know. We know Stafford's going to play, despite the fact he had a toe injury. We know Van Jefferson's expected to play, even though he had a shoulder. We know that, it's been tough for and I saw people that were kind of nagging on him a little bit and saying he didn't play all that well. It makes sense. He's playing through a back injury. That is Leonard Floyd. He's likely to play. So there's a lot of guys that are likely to play, but we don't know about Darius Williams. And we have a pretty good inclination that Taylor Rapp is going to be unable to play. This is a big opportunity, though, for Cam Akers going up against this defense that, again, just can't stop the run. And when they want to stop the run, they can sell out and stop the run. That's fine. It's a pick your poison approach when it comes to the Cardinals. Cardinals tried to stop the run. They sell out to stop Sony Michel. They're giving up over 6 yards per carry to Michel. They come out the second half. They're like, all right, we're not going to allow Sony Michel to do anything. So they sell out to stop the run. That opens up Cooper Kupp, who had 0 yards in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. He ends up with 123 on 13 catches for a touchdown. And that was on 15 targets, including a 44-yard play. They allowed a 40-yard play to Odell. They allowed a 52-yard catch to Van Jefferson and a 23-yard catch to Blanton. This is a team that you can, 100%, you can score on, you can throw on. They are very good against the pass, but you can throw on them, as the Rams demonstrated. Matthew Stafford threw 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in this one, had 139.2 passer rating, was sacked still 3 times. He's got to get rid of the ball quicker. He's only thrown the ball away 3 times this season. That is not conducive to winning football. So you got to live to play another down. Hopefully, he's going to get that down. But Kyler Murray, this is not what you want to see Arizona doing. And it worked out for the Rams. But this is not what you don't want to see Arizona throwing almost 400 yards in this game. The Rams made it work because they forced 2 turnovers on Kyler Murray. Definitely don't forget that. But Kyler Murray did throw for 383 yards. That, of course, was without Jalen Ramsey. But, we're talking a little banged up secondary. Things could happen. So, I'm not really worried, though. When it comes to this game, I have the Rams winning 31-24, like I said earlier. I think that they've showed the ability to play, and show heart. They've been without key players at moments in this season. They went 12-5, all of which, they're 0-1 with Cam Akers actually playing. They won 12 games without Cam Akers. So, it was really impressive what they were able to do without Cam Akers, despite the fact that their running backs, I love Hendo, and I think Sony Michel has played well, but, yards that were expected. So there's a stat called rushing yards, like expected, right? Expected rushing yards, whatever. Average expected rushing yards. Sony Michel and Darrell Henderson both had a negative differential. So that means that they did not run for as many yards as was expected of them based on this algorithm that they run on Next Gen Stats. So because of that, they're basically saying that Sony Michel and Darrell Henderson were around the average to a little bit below average in the fact that they could have done better. It wasn't massive. They said that Darrell Henderson could have had 29 more yards than he actually ran, and that Sony Michel left 27 yards on the field that he could have actually had. Cam Akers, however, is going to be a huge upgrade if and when he is healthy. I don't know if he'll be ready to go the whole year. Who knows if he'll be ready to take over and, be the guy. But even if they go with a committee backfield approach, as long as they start to give him more carries, I think it's going to work well for the Rams. I think they're going to be really hard to stop. And I think the train stops. It stops right in SoFi against the Cardinals. And then we see, because to be honest with you, I see the Niners knocking off not Green Bay. I see the Niners knocking off Dallas. I see them playing Green Bay. I see the Rams playing Tampa. I think the Rams beat Tampa in Tampa. And then I think the Rams, whether they play, well, if they play the Niners, I'd be a little worried, but I think that they would knock off Green Bay again in Lambeau. Crazy, I know, but if you look, the Rams are a better road team than people realize. They're 7-2 on the season. They're 5-3 at home. So it's almost better to play on the road if you're the Rams based on this season. Let's see how y'all feel about this game. I feel good about the game. Like I said, I'm not worried about it. We'll see. We will definitely see how things go, but I'm not super worried about it. I think Sean McVay is going to have them prepared, and I think it was asking a lot for them to run with a 9-game winning streak, which would have meant winning the Super Bowl. Now they reset that streak. They got that out of the way. It sucks losing the Niners, but at the end of the day, you played a team that needed to win to make the playoffs, whereas you needed to win to just ensure higher seeding. It's a way different approach, and I hate that they lost, but I'm just looking at it like that, is that the Niners wanted it more, as, corny as that sounds, and I kind of hate that it came out of my mouth. It's the fact. They did want it more. They needed it more. And I think the Rams are going to be able to bounce back in a big way and start a winning streak, which, by the way, is not unheard of, because the Rams already had a 5-game winning streak, which would trump anything that they have to do in the playoffs. They just have to win 4 straight. We'll see if they do it. yeah, that's wow. We ran through that. We have over 200 people in here. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. And, of course, be sure to hit the thumbs up. We're at 83 likes. We have over 200 people in here. So let's get the likes past 100, and I'll take whatever else on top of that. But really do appreciate likes get over 100, and then all of a sudden, YouTube is able to kind of recommend this and, get people in here that may have not ever seen my channel. So it opens up the door there. I'm actually 22 subscribers away from 10,000. I don't know if I'll get it on this stream. Probably not. But I just can't thank you guys enough. It is so incredible. We are going to hit 10,000. I set a ridiculous goal of 20,000 by the end of last year. And I tried. I mean, I put out over 400 videos, but the fact is that, sometimes you set goals that are a little bit higher, and you can't let yourself get down about it, because you have to realize that, look, 10,000 is an awesome feat. I'm super pumped to be able to almost hit that here. I'd love to hit before we end it here. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. But, I feel really good about that. I feel good about this fan base, good about the community. And I feel like, the way this channel's going, the way the Rams are going, if they keep this thing up, it's only going to grow more and more and more. Would I like to see us, our viewers at where it was, during the Matthew Stafford trade stream and things like that? Yeah. But I also feel like the hype was just another level. So I can't days where we're talking over 300, 400. Back when I first started doing this, pretty much almost full time. But until then, I'm going to keep grinding, and, we'll keep talking about it and, make things happen, because that's what it's about. I mean, I know you guys like the show, and I appreciate it. I see all the feedback, and, it makes me feel really good when people are like, yeah, nothing is better than, coming off a loss. It sucks, but nothing's better than watching Jake kind of add perspective. Like, I see those comments, and that, that means a lot to me, because to me, it's a job that I love doing. I absolutely love going live. I love interacting with you guys. But then I almost forget, like, I could be making somebody's day who had a rough day and all they want to do is listen to Rams content. I don't really think about that when I'm doing it, but I think it's almost like second nature at that point, but it's still so cool, and I really do appreciate it. Yeah, Nick, I will never forget when the trade went live, Matthew Stafford. It was Blaine and I had Blaine on audio chat back in the day through Discord, and we were talking about the Senior Bowl. It was the first year I had not gone to the Senior Bowl. By the way, important announcement, if you guys haven't already heard, I will not be at the Senior Bowl again this year. I've decided not to go. It's a very expensive trip, and I just don't feel like right now I can afford to do that, and I have to focus on other things. But I have enjoyed the Senior Bowl, and if you ever find yourself wanting to get into this industry, whether it be a sports content creator or anything like that, I feel like you really should 100% give it a shot. I'll never forget, and I'm not saying I'm done going to the Senior Bowl, but I'll never forget going to the Senior Bowl the last 3 years. It's been incredible. I've interviewed so many players. I literally met Deebo Samuel. He would never remember, but I actually met him. He seemed like a really nice guy back then. I remember having as big a hands as Hunter Renfrow, seeing him in person. Couldn't believe it. And then now this guy's killing it in the NFL. Remember being at the presser live with Baker Mayfield and, Drew Lock and Daniel Jones and Josh Allen. It's an incredible experience, and it's not anything that I've ever been through before. So if you find yourself, you like what I do, but you want to be a part of it and you want to do your own, you want to start with the draft. I mean, you don't have to be the most knowledgeable with the draft. Sometimes, I've gone out to the Senior Bowl and been so focused on the NFL season, I haven't quite gotten all of the, the prospects scouted before then, and that's fine. But I mean, I definitely recommend it. Get yourself some, experience, brush shoulders against people that, are big in the industry. I mean, I remember having 2 conversations at the Senior Bowl with Jerry Jones. who actually remembered me the second time. I don't know if he remembered me still, but he remembered me the second time. He came up to me on a bench. I was just taking notes about a prospect, and Jerry Jones like patted me on the shoulder and sat down next to me and started talking to me. He was at the Senior Bowl my first year back in 2018. I'll never forget that experience. And then the second time, he's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Like he remembered me. I remember talking with some of the Ram scouts. I don't want to name them because I don't want to get them in trouble, but talking to some certain Ram scouts that gave me some peace of mind and let me know we watch what you do. We know Downtown Rams. We know Turf Show Times. We know all of those. We're always looking at what you guys are saying. We definitely take into account what you guys are saying. Obviously, I don't think it decides who they draft, but I thought it was really cool to hear from these Ram scouts that are very trusted, and they just flat out like they know us. Like one of the scouts I went up to and I shook his hand. He already knew who I was before I shook his hand. So it's like those moments and those opportunities, you don't get them everywhere. And so I just say I know a lot of people are in here to watch for entertainment purposes, educational purposes, whatever. But I would say straight up, if you're trying to get into content creation, you should check out the Senior Bowl next year. Even this year, I think you could still get credentials. It's the one opportunity I feel like you can still get credentialed despite not being on NFL soil, despite not working for a big newspaper or NFL Network or ESPN or anything like that. I've met some amazing people there. I've met Ben Albright. I've met Jordan Schultz. I've met just so many great people. Charles Davis. The first time I was ever at the Senior Bowl, Charles Davis pointed me out. I was just on a bench texting, trying to find different people that I would know because I was lost my first year. And Charles Davis said, "Jake," and I was like, "Oh, okay," because he came on my show. So, just really cool. That experience, but it was brought up. I think somebody asked me, I was on Discord or whatever, or who I was on Discord with, and that's why it was originally a Senior Bowl Discord, show that we were doing, and now no one will ever know based on the thumbnail because I had to change the thumbnail, in the middle of doing the show because Matthew Stafford went to the Rams. I have a calming effect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad. I know I tend to be a little loud. I can be a little rah-rah. I get that. I've gotten those comments before, but, I'm just, I'm very passionate about what I'm talking about. As you guys know, I don't like fake news. I don't like clickbait. I don't like talking heads, like just talking for the hell of talking. I don't like false narratives. I don't like lack of context. I don't. And I don't like disrespect. And I feel like, every time people talk about Matthew Stafford or, not everybody, but it just feels like, he's a meme. It's like people don't really respect what he's doing. They call him Stat Padford. They make fun of him. I understand he's a big boy. He can take care of himself. That's not my thing. I'm just saying if you're going to be in this industry, if you're going to, do this type of work, you could at least show some respect. And I'm not talking about anybody in specific, but I've seen it a lot. It's the same thing, people talking about basketball and, I'm supposed to take him seriously as a basketball analyst, but then they're calling Russell Westbrook Russell Westbrick. That's a fan thing, which fine. You as a fan, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to boo. Personally, I hate that fan culture. No offense to anybody. I hate booing. I'll never boo my team ever. I don't like booing, period, but I understand some people do. And I don't like calling teams by nicknames because how are people going to take me seriously if I'm on here saying the 40 Whiners instead of the 49ers? Like, people aren't going to take me seriously. How are people going to take me seriously if I'm saying the Cardinals facing the Lambs? I just feel like people that use those nicknames, fans can do that. That's fine. But if I'm trying to take you seriously as an analyst, you probably should use the right names. It's why I try to get pronunciation down. I try to get pronunciation down my best. I just realized I mispronounced Rob Havenstein. Again, I did Havenstein earlier. It's Havenstein. I'm, really I have like OCD about pronunciation now because I just want to make sure I sound as professional as possible in that regard, and I just think that's all. That's all that should be. That's all it should be. You know what I mean? It's quite simple. It's like if you're going to talk about this for a living, like if you're going to talk about video games for a living, and you're calling, the Elder Scrolls games Elder Scrolls, or Call of Duty, you're just calling, Call of Crap or something. Like, like I can't take you seriously. It's just the same thing with movies. Like if you're talking about the Marvel movies and you don't like Spider-Man, so you make fun of Spider-Man, or it's just like, you're an analyst, you're an authoritative figure. Prove it. Show it to me. Like, let people forget, just because you're the loudest in the room, just because the microphone is in front of you, does not mean that you're automatically the authoritative figure. You got to earn that. And so, when I see people like, yeah, Russell Westbrook, but it's like an actual reporter, I'm sitting there like, how am I going to respect you? I know more about the game than you do, clearly, because you're calling him Westbrook. Call him by his name. Tom Brady is not my favorite player by any stretch. You guys know I'm very critical of him. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, no doubt about that, but I do feel like he, dare I say, gets somewhat overrated at times. Not taking anything away from his accomplishments, but it's like he's 44, so even if he threw 20 picks, people would still be saying MVP. That's what I mean. But I don't call Tom Brady anything other than Tom Brady or Tom. I don't call him anything else other than that because I'm trying to actually show that I don't do it just for the recognition. I don't do it just to show respect, but I also do it because that's all I know. I don't get the nicknames. If you call Big Ben, that's fine. If you call Ben Roethlisberger Big Ben, that's fine. Those are nicknames that everybody calls him. But I mean the derogatory nicknames, the things that you're trying to trash a player with, I can't really agree with that. Like the whole Jimmy Garoppolo thing. Is Jimmy Garoppolo my favorite quarterback in the league? No, he plays for a team that is the arch rival of my favorite team. So no, Jimmy Garoppolo is not my favorite quarterback in the league. Okay? But I'm not going to call him Jimmy G-String because I don't like him. Okay? That's not how it's going to be. Because no one's going to take my analysis seriously. It's that simple. So, when I see people doing that, I'm like, you're losing your credibility. And if you want to keep your credibility, you got to show some sort of respect to not only, like everyone just focuses on the person. It's not necessarily you calling Russell Westbrook, disrespectful to Russell Westbrook, which it is, but it's not even that. It's the fact you don't even respect your viewers enough to call them by their actual names. You just assume that their IQ is lower than yours, and essentially you're just not respecting their time, so you're wasting their time. I don't know. It annoys me. It does annoy me, and that's why. Like, you want to call Kyler Murray Kyler, that's fine. Like, people call him Kyler. People call him Murray. Not many people, but I've heard it. If you want to call Larry Fitzgerald Fitz, cool. People call him that. Like, that's the thing. Like, Nuke Hopkins, people call DeAndre Hopkins Nuke Hopkins, okay? Like, that happens. But, like, just bad nicknames that are just trashing the player, I'm just not cool with. So, Yeah, it's a weird nickname, Nolan. I don't know why people do that. It's bizarre, but Dwight Howard is Bizarro, Mighty Mouse. Oh, I'm not trashing Big Ben, not at all. If Brady threw 20 picks, you'd call him Matthew Stafford. Hey now. Jake, I saw an article talking about Stafford, and they were saying the Rams should wait to extend Stafford until after the 2022 season to see how he does so they don't have another situation like Goff. Could not disagree more. Stafford is an established quarterback. Jared Goff has fallen off a cliff, statistically. Stafford is literally doing things that he did in Detroit. He's just winning with a better team, So I don't understand that idea. Yeah, TB12, I don't call him that personally, but I don't mind that. Um, but I mean, that's the thing with Stafford. I just don't agree with that. Goff is a young quarterback. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying with the article, Goff is a young quarterback. At that point, after the Super Bowl, when they extend him, I don't think you really knew what you were getting. If you looked at his stats after the Chiefs game, he was not the same. So it already looked like he was somewhat going down a bad path. The Saints game, everyone got in their feelings and they're like, "Oh my God, what he just did in the Saints game was incredible. He rallied back, he won the game, they go to the Super Bowl." He was not very good in the Super Bowl. And then after that, we never really saw anything that we saw in 2018, in 2019, 2020, 2021. So that was the different thing. With Stafford, unless it's injury risk, injury concern, there's no reason to wait on an extension. He should be extended after the season. If they win the Super Bowl, are we still waiting for an extension? That's the thing. I just don't agree with those articles like that. I've seen it over and over and over again. I don't get it. So yeah, you don't like disrespect, but you rationalize losing 6 times in a row to Deebo Samuel. I don't understand what that means. Wow, Jake, pretty impressive just to be around those folks. Them knowing you, who you are, that's a blessing, brother. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Brandon. I mean, I agree. I mean, it was super awesome to be around those people. It was awesome to be around people like Cole Thompson, who's a peer of mine. He's done just amazing things. He's a great human. I've had him on here before. I had him on the Marvel round table thing. I had him on that. I had him on as a guest before, just talking about sports. So I'm a big fan of him, and he was one of the first people that I met, as well as Dalton Miller, who's also been on the Downtown Rams podcast. There's so many others. I could just go on and on and on. Roy Countryman is somebody that came on. He was a big time person I met down there. Very nice person. But I've met a lot of great people there, and I think that's the thing is that we're like everyone's so focused on competition and who's better, and I have a better hit rate on draft prospects than you. But what it comes down to is like we're all the small guy. We're all trying to make it. And so when, you're able to kind of come together and work with these people and be around them and talk with them and discuss and, bounce things off them, it helps. So, let's see here. Hey, Jake, your passion is very much appreciated. Our loss versus the Niners hurt. We felt it through you too, but that was the past. Now we got the Cards. Go Rams. I agree with you. Jake, you are a half glass full guy. Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, I would say so. I like to keep it real, though. I do think at times, I have gone off the handle a little bit, but I like to keep it real. Oh, I know. Sport outlets don't even give Stafford respect, Jake. I know. There's a lot that just continue to bring up his playoff win-loss record when he can't actually defend that. Now he has a chance to. He's got to win on Monday night. To have his first playoff win, but oh man, that's Babel. Just keep scrolling. Yeah, no, I feel that. 2 thumbs up, Jake, for this year season content. Keep it up. Let's go, Weedle. Mike, thank you so much. I think it's really funny with the whole AB thing. I don't know if you guys knew, but AB and Weddle actually had a little beef, and it's happening all over again. If you guys didn't see my Twitter, I tweeted something about it. So 2 years ago, Antonio Brown was out of the league, and Eric Weddle was getting ready for a game and for the Rams or whatever. And someone tagged him or said like, "Sorry, Weddle, as much as I like you, AB couldn't, you couldn't cover AB or something." And he said, "AB's not on a team," or he said something, or he's not even in the league. And then AB got furious, and like, Antonio Brown was constantly like, he called him Weedle and all of that. And it was so comical because now here we are in 2022 and nothing's changed. Antonio Brown's not on a team anymore because he's a head case. And Eric Weddle, meanwhile, is now on a freaking team. He got out of retirement and got to a team quicker than Antonio Brown did. So I find that really funny. Yes, pull up on that Discord. Hit the link that Nolan just dropped. Love that. Let's see. Matt Stafford. Like, wow, how impressive. I don't really like when it's Matt Stanford. That annoys me. Spell his name right. Or McVeigh. Spelling McVeigh's name like McSlay. Like, like a sleigh, Sleigh. Like, people spell that, but like McVeigh, that annoys me. Substance. What's up, Rams House? Long time no see. Hope all is well. Yup, there it is, Nolan. That's what I'm talking about. I hate that. I love you guys, but I literally can't stand when I see people misspelling McVeigh like that. I mean, that's just I can't. It's oh man. Pretty guys, this year feels way long. And not in a bad way. It's not like I'm not enjoying covering the Rams, but guys, this is still the same season. Deshaun Jackson had that game against Tampa and then up and left. Since then, Woods has torn his ACL. The Rams have signed OBJ. They've traded for Von Miller. And now Eric Weddle has come out of retirement. What even is this season, folks? I don't think we've ever seen a season like this. And it's not just because the 17-game schedule. It's not. It's really not. It's crazy. I'm fine with McVay. Yeah, the move was a little unexpected, mainly because I didn't think Weddle was even an option. I thought he had, retired. But it's funny because initially when I first saw, Jalen Ramsey laughing like that at like midnight, I had a thought of Antonio Brown and I had a thought of Earl Thomas because I was like, he wouldn't be laughing if they were just picking up Sherrod Neesmith like they did. Maybe that was what he was laughing at. No, I'm just kidding. All jokes aside, he wouldn't make a big deal unless it was a big move. And, maybe we are underestimating how big of a move Eric Weddle is. Maybe it's massive for the locker room, but I like the move. I think it makes sense. I don't think they have much of a choice. But regardless, I think that, Jalen, like I said, he wouldn't have made a big deal with just any sort of, move. Like, I knew it had to have been a big name. That's why I thought Earl Thomas might make sense. But, I mean, he hasn't been on a team since, if you guys remember, or if you don't remember, he hasn't been on a team since he, got into a physical altercation in practice that got to the point where he got kicked off the team with Chuck Clark of the Ravens. So, I don't know if Earl Thomas is going to play in the NFL again. I mean, no one has touched him since, and that is saying something because he's a lot younger than Weddle. Let's see. It's not that you really have to believe he's going to be a factor. It's really more so, can he be that leader in the back end? He doesn't even need to start, but can he add some depth? Can he come in? Can he do that? And can he be a leader in the locker room? That's a veteran presence. That's a guy that played 9 years with the Chargers. He played a few years with the Ravens. He played in playoff games. I like having a guy like that in the locker room for sure. I agree, Nolan. I mean, it's just like the whole, 2019 to me felt like forever. Actually, 2020 felt like, I don't even know, dude. 2020 felt like forever. I think he's going to wear 43, but I don't know. But I'm going to call it 43, and when it's right, you can come back and say that I got it right. Thank you. Yeah, I like to make good points every now and then, or at least I try. Yeah, the Deshaun Jackson thing still to me, and I posted something that maybe I should have posted on Twitter earlier. It was like back with the whole AB thing, because I was like, let me just say this. Deshaun Jackson is going to look very bad if the Rams sign Antonio Brown and he gives them zero issues at all. So I probably shouldn't have said it. I should probably let it go. I'm still somewhat bitter. And whether it's fair or not, I really do feel like Deshaun Jackson quit on the team. And I find I'm bitter because, I didn't like the signing initially. And I know a lot of you were wanting him. And he comes to the Rams and instantly makes an impact. He's the deep threat, whatever. He buys in the we, not me. He has that experience with Sean McVay. You're thinking, okay, this guy could have a really good year. Well, regardless of OBJ, he quit on the team. He quit on a winning team. At that point, I think they had one loss. Maybe undefeated. I think they had one loss. No, they might have been undefeated. Who leaves an undefeated or one-loss team like that? Deshaun Jackson forced his way out. And it's funny because I got quote tweeted. It went I got 103 likes. I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. Not saying that's huge, but whatever. And I thought this was kind of funny. I shouldn't have said it, whatever, but I did. Deshaun Jackson's mom, because she responds to everything related to Deshaun Jackson on Twitter. I don't have to tell you guys that know her. I'm sure she's a nice lady and she just loves her kid, but oh my God, she responds to everything on Twitter. She even took some of the stuff that people were saying in a positive light about Deshaun when he was on the Rams. She took that personally and offensively. So anyway, she said, let me say this, at JK Bogan, move on. He has. I just thought it was funny. I got a quote tweet from her. It seems, kind of typical, but, if the Rams do you see my point though? If the Rams get this head case, in, Antonio Brown, and he ended up signing, and he didn't do anything wrong, and he just bought into the culture, and they won a Super Bowl, how bad does Deshaun look for forcing his way out when Antonio Brown, who literally just up and quit on his team, just took his jersey off and threw it in the stands and whatnot, and just paraded out of the NFL? If he did go to the Rams, and this is just an if scenario, but if he did and didn't do anything off the field, didn't do anything on it, just produced and kept his head down and kept his head on straight, if that happened, then yeah, Deshaun Jackson looks really bad. That looks really bad on him. My favorite, and it took them barely getting in the playoffs, but he did say something about over the lines of he was so excited to go to a winning culture. The Raiders almost missed the playoffs. They had to win the last game of the year to make the playoffs. The Rams won 12 games. I don't know what winning culture he was talking about. I thought it was absolutely silly. Yeah, it will be silly when OBJ wins it here. I agree. Oh yeah, I prefer OBJ. OBJ is better than Deshaun. He always has been. Interesting stuff there, Rusty. I don't know how to feel because I love Joseph Noteboom. I feel like he deserves a shot, but if Whitworth comes back, if he doesn't retire like everyone's just assuming he will, then it opens up a lot of possibilities and not so much great ones for guys like Noteboom. And so, you might have to make a tough business decision, here and there. I mean, I want Corbett and I want those guys to remain. I like Shelton. I'd like to see him around. I like Noteboom. But we'll see. It is a business, and, I will say if they did enough, as far as they did enough restructuring, they could bring back everybody. They could run the band back all over again. But, we'll see. Tampa did that. Tampa's trying to be the first team in NFL history to run it back with the same exact team. And win a Super Bowl. We'll see if they do, but it's worth mentioning that is in play, and the Rams could also do that if they truly wanted to. Yeah, I think the O-line just had a bad game against the Niners. I don't think that they're the problem. I saw people like, O-line is terrible, and we just replaced it. The Rams' fix was to get Eric Weddle. Well, yeah, because Jordan Fuller's out for the year and Taylor Rapp's probably not playing. So yeah, they did need to go out and get Eric Weddle. They need to go out and get, a safety. So, it's not always as simple as that. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't come back, but I really do feel like Odell is going to come back, and I feel like Vaughn probably is not, but I love them both. And I think, at the end of the day, the plan the Rams have is to bring them both back if they can. Yeah, the overreacting was insane as I crack my back here. Just felt like doing that. I don't know. Yeah, the overreacting was insane. It was, offensive line played like absolute garbage, but that doesn't mean that they are absolute garbage. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden the offensive line that's been top 10 all year, arguably top 5, is now in the bottom. The Rams don't have as many problems as people want to make it out to be. All these problems, and they almost won the game. They should have won the game. They lost the game by 3 in overtime against a team they haven't beaten the last 6 opportunities. So, I mean, tell me how much is that how much is them, just being a bad team, or how much is that, the matchup. But, a little bit of a longer stream today. Not super long, but, we went over the hour and 10 mark. We got a bunch of subscribers. Guys, can we do it on this stream? Can we get to 10,000 on this stream? Is that possible? If you haven't subscribed, I have 13 left. The YouTube subscriber, that value there, it's a little, how should I say it? Behind, clearly. 13 subscribers left. I'm really curious if we can get to 10,000 before I end this. Oh, now it's 11. Let's see, folks. I need 11 more subscribers, and I get to 10,000 before I hang this thing up. There's 10. 10 more subscribers. I'm watching it live. Ten more. 9 more. There we go. People are subbing. Sub if you like the Rams. Sub if you like me. I don't know. 9 more subs. Would be awesome if we could get to 10K. I don't want to hang this thing up until we do get to 10K, if I'm being honest. So, if you're on YouTube watching this and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and see if we can get past 10K on this. It's weird. Some people it doesn't show. Some people it does show that subscribed. Some people it doesn't. Some people it does. Oops, 7 more. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, folks. I'm looking at the live real-time updated. Got 7 more. It is the final countdown. Oh, that is weird. We're almost at 10K. 7 more. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube's been weird. It kicked out all of my... I don't know if you have this issue, Rams House, but it kicks out a lot of my viewers at the beginning, and I don't know why. So we always have to make a comeback, and the loyal people that get kicked out, they come right back in, but I do lose people, which sucks. 6 more subscribers left. And this stream, guys, we're kicking ass on this stream. We're almost at 3,000 views. We got 6 subscribers until I hit 10,000. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is with YouTube. I mean, I've literally turned off monetization and they still kick people out. Like, stop. Like, I don't need that. Like, 5 more views, folks. 5 more. Or 5 more subscribers. 2 more. 2 more subscribers. I don't know if it's going to update in time on the thing, but I can tell you I'm looking at it right now in the real time. May not seem like a huge deal to some people. I know some people do find it a huge deal. This is a major accomplishment, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. Couldn't have done it without him up there. My grandpa Dave, just... Man, I'm not about to try to get emotional here, but I would love to be able to tell him I got to 10,000. There it is, 10,000. 10,001 subscribers. There it is. Let's go. You guys are the best. Oh, man. That was, it was a grind, you know? I mean, it's been so awesome doing this, and just, I love doing, like, random live streams. Oh, I got an unsubscriber there. I see you. Now we have 10,002. It's been amazing. I can't thank you guys enough, and I'm so excited to see where this goes. I mean, started this thing. I mean, I started Downtown Rams in 2016. I went to school in 2014. Was a college dropout, was working at a grocery store. Nothing against working at a grocery store. Don't cancel me or anything like that. But I was working at a grocery store, got a job, commercial trucking and tolling, management, things like that. Was working a call center job. I quit that call center job because I literally could not take it anymore. I had a great boss. I had great bosses pretty much everywhere I went. And now all of a sudden, I'm able to work from home. I'm self-employed. I do this basically full-time, in addition to writing for the Game Day, in addition to doing the Downtown Rams podcast and, running my company, Downtown Rams. It has been, it's been crazy, okay? Like, it has been crazy. And I just couldn't have done it without you. So, really do appreciate you guys. It's been, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get all sappy, but seeing the 10,000 hit, it just hits different, It really does. So, man. Oh, boy. Appreciate you guys. I didn't think I'd get it on this stream. I felt like I needed to stay on here. We got some push. Appreciate everyone in the comment section pushing. We're at 10,003 subscribers. We hit 10K, guys. Now we're on to 20, then 30, then 40, then 50, and so on. Because I'm not going to stop this channel anytime soon. Hopefully you guys aren't going to watch. Hopefully you guys aren't going to stop watching anytime soon. That is going to do it for me on this glorious Wednesday. We have hit 10K. Can't thank you guys enough, and I'll probably be back tomorrow. If not, Friday we'll have the preview for the Rams-Cardinals game. We'll have a podcast. I still do other stuff on this channel just right now. It's Rams playoff season. We were going to do our playoff. I believe that's what we were going to do. We were going to do our NFL playoff breakdown, all of the games and everything. I think we'll do that tomorrow. We'll do the Rams-Cardinals preview on Friday, and that will be the week. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I will be back tomorrow. Also be on some podcasts, so keep an eye out for that. Be sure to hit the bell icon as well. Anytime I go live, you'll know. So if, notification gang, I know who you guys are. You know who you guys are. So if you want to get involved in that, be sure to do that. You can become a member. I did notice, by the way, I want to give a shout out to somebody. It looks as though, and I didn't get a notification immediately, but I did just get one. P-Train, thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Appreciate all of you supporting the channel. So we're going to have plenty of content. You guys like MCU horror, we're going to have content like that as well. But I understand for people that are just here for Rams football, for people that are just here for NFL, we're going to have plenty of content. We're going to have a lot of NFL draft content coming soon. Not that soon, hopefully, because that means the Rams have been eliminated. So we want to keep that pushed out a little bit, past February, if you know what I mean. But it's going to be an exciting time. So I'm appreciative of you guys that have subscribed to this channel, that have subscribed to my ideas, subscribed to me as a person, as an analyst, as a content creator. That's essentially what you've done, and I do appreciate that. You can follow me at JKBogan. You can also hit the bell icon on there anytime I tweet. I don't highly recommend doing that because I tweet a lot and I will blow up your phone. But if you do want to do that, by all means, you can. For me, I'm Jake Ellenbogen. This has been apparently the 10K live stream. Finally, we went over 10K. Love to see it. Over 3,000 views on this. What a stream. Appreciate you guys. Let's go Rams. Let's go Eric Weddle. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Later.